Hello everyone and welcome to Staying Ahead of the Curve. I'm Jeff Snyder, Vice President and Senior Consultant with Kamak Retirement Group. And today we're talking about healthcare. And I'm joined today by Kenny Nicholson and Lynn Kramer from Nassau Healthcare Corporation. Guys, thanks for joining us on the show today.
Thanks for having us today.
So today's our topic is healthcare. A lot going on in the healthcare marketplace and healthcare world. But your plan's a pretty special plan. I'm wondering, before we get into the nuts and bolts of the plan, Kenny, if you wouldn't mind sharing with the audience the history behind the program, because I think it's rather unique.
Okay, we've been with VALIC for over a decade now. We're a public benefit corporation. We used to be with Nassau County in 1999. We separated from the county and became a public benefit corporation. We have over 3,000 employees, and our employees are covered under a defined pension plan. We're part of the New York State defined pension plan, so that creates its own unique challenges to getting people to enroll in a deferred compensation program.
So Lynn, I know we were talking off camera about the importance of educating, communicating, and getting people enrolled in the program. Kenny talked a little bit about the defined benefit plan. Can you share some of your insights into communicating and educating and what you've done over the last decade to bring people into the program?
Yeah, we're a union, a public union, so we deal with over 3,000 members on a daily basis. So people are very concerned about that money. It's a very hot topic for them. So VALIC has been able to bring great education programs in for the membership, and it's so helpful. It makes people really understand what's really going on with their retirement and their money, and it gives them their own, their own power to do what they want with their money, which is great.
So the service model that you've elected is one that has what I would call boots on the ground. Mm-hmm. How important are the financial advisors to engaging employees, helping them with financial planning?
It means everything to them because they could put the face with the name, and I think it puts people at ease that they get to speak to someone that they feel comfortable with, someone that's been there a long time, that's going to look out for their well-being, who's going to advise them the right way. We have a great team with VALIC at Nassau University Medical Center. It's a great group. We usually hear a lot of negative things. Anyone has a problem because we're a labor union. But with VALIC, we really don't have any issues going on. It's great.
And so, Kenny, in terms of your validation, you're part of a board. You have a board that oversees the plan, and you're fiduciaries of the program. You recently undertook an RFP to, well, not recently, but within the last few years, undertook an RFP to reselect your current TPA VALIC. But can you talk a little bit about that process and what the board was thinking, the rationale, the various service models you were thinking about, you were considering?
We interviewed probably, I'm going to say, a dozen respondents maybe at the beginning of the process. We whittled it down to about 4 respondents, and at the end of the day, at the end of the whole process, it came down to 2 respondents, VALIC being one of them. One of the important things to me as the vice chair of the board, one of the stories I told was in 2008 when the market started to collapse a bit there. Our former chair of the board was, he treated the deferred comp plan like his baby. Yep. And he knew a lot about deferred comp, but he was a bit of an anxious guy. And that day, he was panicked. He called me in a panic. He wanted to come up to the office, and we made a telephone call to Don Goldstein, who's the manager of our plan, and who we have a personal relationship with. And like Lynn said, that personal relationship means everything to us. He was at an NAGDA conference in Baltimore. We're not their only client. We're not VALIC's only client. We're not Don's only client. He spent 45 minutes with us on the phone that day. And not only did he alleviate a lot of Mr. Campanero's fears and anxieties, more than that, he was able to lay out a plan of what VALIC was prepared to do, where they were going in the future, and how they were going to reach out to our members. By the end of that week, they had a letter that went out to every member of the plan. We were able to call a general membership meeting. We were able to have a lot of the people that were in the plan at that general membership meeting, and VALIC was able to talk about their strategies and where they were going forward. That type of stuff is you can't put a price tag on that personal relationship. Another one of the things Lynn was talking about was the education piece. We have a program called Retire Fit that we have 3 on-site personal advisors that are with us from Monday to Friday. They come in, they do off-hour meetings with our members. But we have a plan called Retire Fit, an educational piece called Retire Fit, where the advisors are able to meet one-on-one with clients and tell clients either A, you're not ready to retire at the current rate, B, you're pretty much on track, or C, you're looking really good. And you know, a lot of people will think that because we're in a New York State fully defined pension plan and because they have a pension, there's really less of a need to be enrolled in a retirement plan. But we live in Nassau County. It's one of the highest costs of living in the country, you know, so the defined pension plan is great, but that's not going to cover everything when you're ready to retire.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, that's one of the issues that when we're out consulting, and especially in the governmental marketplace or where there is a defined benefit plan, it's taking advantage of this supplemental, what I would consider to be a supplemental benefit, and getting people in. So, how important, Lynn, is data? So you know, I know the high touch model really works well, both for the board and also with the employees. But how much do you look at data and segment the employee population to begin to target
The data
them?
is very important to us because it helps us get out to talk to the people that really don't really know or are not comfortable. Every deferred comp meeting we have, we go over a lot of the demographics in our plan, and it helps us, like, you know, zero in with the newer employees, what we need to talk to them about, you know, what kind of questions they may have. We see who's active in the plan, who's not active in the plan. Last year, our deferred comp reps saw more than, I think they did about 75% review on the total plan. So there's about 3,000 people in the plan. So they really knocked it out of the park. So, I mean, they really got out there. They were able to have personal appointments with our people, review, change some of the strategies that people were thinking with their retirement. And a lot of the education pieces helped people realize that maybe they were on track, not on track, what they need to do to get on track to be able to afford to live in Nassau County on Long Island and live well, you know, because nobody knows what tomorrow's going to bring, so better to be well prepared for it than not.
And people really misunderstand the amount of money you need. And one of the things that we've been talking about as a firm is the cost of health care. And you guys would know this more than probably anybody who's watching the show. The cost of health care in retirement is exorbitant, it's high. So being able to plan and assume that you're going to live for a long period of time, to have money in health care is going to be important.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking to the data, we last quarter we went over $200 million for our plan.
Congratulations!
The
balloons are coming up right now.
The balloon should come up.
That's right.
It's a nice plan, but so it would be easy to kind of sleep on a plan that has that much in assets. But contrary to that, we meet regularly with the board. We meet with the advisors and we meet with the reps from VALIC, and we go over every fund we have in the plan. We go over funds that are on the watch list because we want to make sure that we're giving our members the best plan possible, that we're giving them the best funds to choose from, that we're giving them the best opportunity to make the best amount of money off their plan. So that data is invaluable to them.
And how important fees? I mean, fees are important. You're talking about it, you're negotiating, you just finished a negotiation with your third-party administrator, you're presumably lowering costs, but how important, when you're at a board, how important are fees to you in terms of consideration?
Fees are very important. You know.
That's your question.
That's the name of the game. And VALIC was not only competitive, but they were at the top of the list as far as fees were concerned. And they went the extra mile to secure this plan. It's an important plan. It's as important to VALIC to have us as it is for us to have VALIC. So it works both ways. And I know the fees are important. I'm not downplaying that. But more important for us, I think, as a board, is the personal touch that VALIC has. Any plan could have a website. Any company could come in and give you a website where the participant's going to manage their plan on a website. But just that story about 2008 alone would be enough. But we have an advisor, Danielle Faldetta, who's been with us for 20 years now. And like Lynn is my counterpart in the union, Lynn's very good at knowing not only members' names, but their spouses' names, their children's names, important dates that are coming up. Danielle knows the same thing. And I was talking in the green room about I have a 17-year-old daughter who's going to be starting college in the fall. And when she was 3, Danielle said, hey, Kylie's getting ready to start college. Have you thought about putting together a college fund? And I said, she's 3. And Danielle's like, it goes fast. You'll be surprised how quick college time comes up. And I was able to schedule an appointment with her, sit down, and prepare to start saving for college. And now I have a nice little nest egg. That's the extra piece that you get. You're not going to get that off a website. So fees are important, but I think for us, it's all important. The fees are important. The funds we put in the plan are important. The data that VALIC and our advisors are able to provide us is important. But for us, I think the number one thing VALIC has been able to provide is the personal touch.
Yeah, it's about value. I mean, we know that just from reading the Department of Labor advice or consent or whatever you want to call it, that it's about the value that people bring. You don't have to always have the cheapest product or service. One thing we were talking about offline, which I think the audience will find very interesting, is the discussion we had about cost of living adjustments and how you're able to take a portion of that and encourage people to defer some of their money into the program. Would you mind sharing a little bit about that concept? I think the audience would find it fascinating.
It's so important. Like we received like a 2% raise. It's so important. We try to encourage the staff to put that 2% away because it was so valuable to them. 2% right now in your face is not really, a lot, but over your future, it really makes a big difference. And VALIC totally does the due diligence with us, with our, watch funds and, all of our meetings, and it makes us feel comfortable because then it feels like we do our due diligence because we are on the board. We have to answer up to our membership. So we can go back to our membership confident and tell them that, yes, we are doing our due diligence. VALIC does their due diligence, and it's so important.
And sir, I'm sorry.
One of the unique things with being a public benefit corporation and being a public service union is we have something called a graded salary plan. And most people will come in at step 3. There's 13 steps. So every year you go up a step. Each step is worth about 2%. On top of that, as a union, it's our responsibility to negotiate, if we can, a cost of living increase. So they have that 2% already in their graded salary plan. Like Lynn was saying, if we could negotiate a 2% increase on top of that, we could go to members and say, maybe you want to invest that 2%, or maybe invest 1%. Yeah. They don't feel it. There's no sting for them. There's no pain. It's like found money, and over the long haul, it adds up. Because most of our members are there 20, 25, 30 years. We have members that are with us for 40 years. Yeah. So over the long haul, that 1%. If we get a couple of nice cost of living increases, that adds up.
Absolutely, and so communicating that is essential and driving results and getting, maybe you're on your way to 300 million.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe by next year.
Keep up with
we have a lot of market appreciation. This is obviously, healthcare is an evolving environment, and I'm sure there's a lot of challenges that you're facing as an organization in terms of dealing with that. And so offering a very nice retirement program is an incentive to employees to participate, and I'm sure you take great heed great guidance in creating a good retirement plan. So we thank you very much for sharing your story, and look forward to maybe you coming back and sharing more about it.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you
very much. Thanks.